Generally, the feeling is that physical discipline is not of value in terms of in the short term and the long term. It may stop the behavior right away, but in the long term, actually physical violence leads to more physical violence later on, and it's been shown that children who are physically disciplined as children tend to be physical discipliners later in life.
Well, in my point of view, I don't think people discipline their children enough nowadays.
My dad used to just give us the look.
I want to get beans with a wooden spoon.
Everybody knows that parents should discipline their children. The question is, how should parents go about doing it?
Well, talking to the child up to the level that they understand. And I say up to the level because a lot of parents, for example, will speak to a child as if they're a little adult. The reality is they're not little adult. They don't have the maturity. They don't have the experience of life to understand the way we tell them things. They're children. They haven't grown to that extent yet. So you have to speak to them at the level they're able to understand, and then you have to put in some consequences at the level that's appropriate. Consequences could include timeouts. They could include having things taken away from them. I know for my kids, if I take away their computer, for a couple of hours, that's a pretty big consequence for them. They don't like that. They like to go on MSN, they like to go on Facebook, they like to play computer games. So losing the computer is a pretty big consequence for them. I don't slap them. I just say you've lost your computer for 2 hours. Losing something is usually the way to do it. And sometimes a little talking to is something they're not happy with, especially if they're smart kids. And they don't like being told, you're wrong and I don't like what you've done. And that also is a form of consequence. And all those taken together should be used as a first line of defense.
I don't think it's the way you learn. Mm-hmm. Plus, when the younger you are, the more you're affected by how your parents treat you.
I was always disciplined with, if you needed it, a good swat in the head, and sometimes they do need it.
Well, personally, I was abused as a child and hit with various objects, ladles, spoons, and it just made me want to rebel against, my parents. So eventually, you just, build up a hatred for your parents. They keep hitting you, so I believe that you shouldn't hit your children.
I have come to the situation where I know that of parents that are physically disciplining their children. They don't see it as abuse themselves, and frequently the children don't see it. They think this is the norm. In that case, you certainly do suggest referral to parenting classes and things like that to identify that this is an appropriate solution to the problem.
Wow, what a great story, Chris. It really touched me. But we're getting a little bit too serious. Let's lighten up the mood with a small piece from Justin Zoris about a club and retro music.
What kind of retro music? Like the stuff my parents listen to?
Something like that. Let's let Justin tell the story. Here's the story.
Going Steady is a DJ night / dance party where the DJs, myself and my partner Matt Cully, play music from the 1950s and the 1960s. Anything from doo-wop to girl groups to rockabilly, rock and roll, Bill Haley, that type of stuff. And yeah, we basically want to keep the dance floor kind of, moving along, and people seem to come out and dance and have fun. We started it off as a monthly party, so once a month. But nowadays we are doing it twice a month. So yeah, it ends up to be either Friday or Saturday, every other Friday or Saturday. Okay, well, I wouldn't suggest there was one demographic specifically that we're looking for, but from my experience, it has been that the age will range anywhere from 19-year-olds and sometimes 18-year-olds to I would say mid to late 20s. We get people that are university students. We get 9-to-5ers out. Just people who I think grew up with this music on 1050 Chum AM radio. Who had parents that were really into that stuff. yeah, I mean, it's the same for me. I mean, I'm 26, and my mom is a huge fan of all types of oldies. She grew up with it, so yeah, just people like me.
Well, the girls are frisky in old Frisco. A pretty little chick wherever you go.
Well, it ranges. The capacity of the boat is 150, but through the night when people are leaving, we usually get about between 200 and 230, something like that. At the Gladstone, when we do our events there, because we move it every once in a while to the Gladstone to accommodate for more people, we would get about 300 or so out. And you know, it's unbelievable. I can't understand how we get this many people out for this type of event, but it's working and it's good. Yeah. I think you have to see it to believe it. You have to definitely come out and check the night out, because on paper it sounds kind of strange. I mean, whenever I describe this night to somebody, they really just they think, oh, that's cute. It's a cute idea. But once you're in the club, the energy of the music and the bass and some of the drums on those tracks are just, they would stand up to any drum track now that comes out nowadays. So I mean, it is really, it's a cliche to say it's timeless music, but I mean it is, and my one message would be that you definitely have to experience it to understand what a 50s and 60s dance party is like.
Well, that was better than expected. It might be music my parents listen to, but that piece seemed like it had some great atmosphere and positive energy.
Yeah, it does, but I'm afraid that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed our show. I did, especially about the different kinds of burgers. Just the eating and all the different types of food, everything.
Man. Come on, stop it. It's time to say goodbye to our viewers.
That's right. Yes, you are right. We want to thank you all for tuning into our show. We're being aired every Thursday at 4 p.m. Don't miss out. Till next time, see you later.
And now performing with us, once again, Oleh.
Take it away, Oleh.
Идет весна, и сегодня, как вчера, снова жду и не дождусь я перемены. Я хочу тебя спросить, как все это объяснить. Не могу никак понять твоей измены. За окном весна идет, долго тянется урок. Расскажи и объясни мне, что с тобою. Очень трудно мне понять и все это осознать, что по жизни ты пойдешь, но не со мною. Не со мной, не со мной, не со мной, со мной, со мной, не со мной, не со мной, не со мной, со мной, со мной. Скоро кончится весна, и сегодня, как вчера, снова жду